Welcome to the Goddard School. Your child's journey to a remarkable future starts here, where our skilled teachers and innovative education program lay the foundation for their success. Learn more at GoddardSchool.com.
The NFL is back, and FanDuel's got everything you need to play your game, from same-game parlays to live betting. Right now, new customers bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. 21 plus in present and select states. 18 plus in Kentucky and Wyoming. Must be first online real money wager. $5 deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
So you've got your streaming subscriptions sorted, but every now and then, live TV FOMO hits hard. Good news. With Passes by Sling, get instant access to live TV when you want it. Big football game tonight? Grab a day pass. Baseball series? Try a week pass. Show or movie marathon? You guessed it, weekend pass. Introducing Passes. Get the live TV you love for the day, week, or weekend starting at $4.99. Sling lets you do that. Offer applies to Orange Day Pass. Restrictions apply.
Welcome to another episode of Fringe
Beyond Limits.
How was that?
Okay.
Yeah.
Almost back to
Let's
normal.
just slide with it again.
Listen, last week was just one of those weeks at work, and this week picked up exactly where that left off.
Here you go. That's nice.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah. So, actually seeing you guys tonight is going to make my day a little bit better.
Aww. You're so full of crappolios.
No, I'm being serious because
Especially because you can't physically see Lynette right now.
well, not anymore. Yeah, she's having issues with the camera, but no, yeah, it's because I see you guys.
Sprint the camera. That's why I have a voice for radio or a face for radio.
Oh, I definitely have a face for radio. All right, so how was everyone else's week? That's been my 10 days.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. So
My week's been a busy one.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's interesting for
I'm giggling because I'll tell you a really brief story.
Yep.
But neighbor one lives next door. Okay.
Mhm.
Neighbor one texts me and says, "Hey, there's a neighbor who lives at the end of the block. Neighbor two, they want your phone number. Can I give them your phone number?" And I was like, "Okay." So neighbor two calls me and in like the sweetest Southern accent was just like, "I just want to come over here and meet you. And I think it would be so great. And we're just welcome you to the neighborhood. And, if I could just have some of your time and we can hang out and get to know each other a little bit, I think that would be lovely." So, oh, and she baked me a cake, which is just lovely.
Mhm.
But yeah, she came over and she gave me the world's largest hug. Like she was the grandma,
Yeah.
that long lost grandma that I've never known. I'd never met this woman and she wouldn't let go.
Wow, she got up in there.
Yeah, and she stayed for about an hour. It was a very nice visit. But now she's like, "Do you want to go to the grocery store with me tomorrow?" I'm like,
Oh.
"Oh gosh."
I see what
That's
she did.
cute.
She needs someone to drive her around for errands.
Lynette's being used.
Yeah,
No, oh no.
it would have been so much.
If I get cake, I can drive her. She brings me cake.
Oh,
it'll be fine.
that's how easy it is. All right.
We'll work for cake.
Well, yeah.
Or prefer
cake.
brownies. I'll put in an order for brownies.
Wow. All right. So you have a new bestie.
Yeah, so I guess I'm going grocery shopping with my new bestie
All
tomorrow.
right. What in
Maybe.
Sadie
I haven't
Daisy?
responded to the text.
What in Sadie Daisy is going on around here?
And, small community.
God.
Everybody knows everybody.
Yeah.
All the country songs are right.
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait for the grand reveal, like in Eyes Wide Shut, and it's just a huge orgy.
Oh, geez.
Just old balls and sagging boobies.
There's no pineapples in this neighborhood.
You're right.
Check.
Do you want to know why? Because they turned into prunes. That's how old they are.
Turned into prunes.
Fruit leathers.
So, yeah. Congratulations. I'm happy you made a friend.
Thanks. Yeah,
Yeah.
I made a friend.
Good. Bree, what about you?
The last couple of weeks, once a week, I've been in Chicago for work.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So what have you been doing in the big city?
The first week it was our summer event.
Mm-hmm.
So I did a murder mystery
Mm-hmm.
at a restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
The second week, it's a Cubs game.
Mm-hmm.
And this week, which was yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
we did an architectural tour and went to get deep dish pizza.
Nice. Where'd you
And
go?
I got paid.
Pizza.
Where'd you go?
Pizzeria Duo. Oh, no, Pizzeria Du.
Not Uno?
Dewey.
No, it's Uno's same company.
I know.
But this one's called Du.
Yeah, what's the difference? Do you know?
Dewey.
No difference.
No, I didn't think so.
Because one's Uno and the other's Du. That's the difference.
Yeah, it's Due.
Dewey.
It's Due. It's not Do.
Do it. Dewey.
Yeah.
I
Can we
keep
say
trying to
Dewey?
correct her. She's like, do.
I know.
Do.
I know.
No, Dewey.
Dewey.
Yeah.
For the longest time, I kept saying Duo.
Yeah, no, they're so wrong.
I know.
Okay.
I don't know why. I was like saying Duo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no.
It still means two.
No. You're now dumb in 2 languages.
I'm flicking him off in case people are wondering.
Yeah, no, that's great podcast material. She
That's
held
her
up
driving
her
finger.
That is.
Her driving finger.
That's why she's so bad. You know. So I had thought I was driving to work today, and I drive an hour, right? So I have a lot of free time to think. So I came up on this car and it said, "Be patient, student driver" sticker on the back. And I thought to myself, wouldn't that be great to put on someone who's bad at driving? So everyone just thinks it's a new driver and they're nice to him. Wouldn't that be a great idea?
That is nice.
Yeah, right? So I'm gonna
now you're going to have like 14 stickers on your car.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to put one on Bree's, on my wife's, basically all women. So
Wow.
yeah, shots fired. Oh, actually, do you know why Helen Keller couldn't drive?
Why?
Your stupid joke, and I'm going to punch you.
I'm waiting for
but
the
go
joke.
ahead.
Where's the punchline?
Yeah, she couldn't drive because she was a woman.
Not because she was deaf and blind.
No.
You notice you're the only one laughing at that?
Yeah, I know. Because listen, all right, these are statistical facts that I'm going to throw out at you. Okay?
I want to see references.
I gotta throw it out at you.
All right, do your own research. All
Do
right,
your own research.
the number one group that
group.
get divorced are
Get divorced.
lesbians.
Are lesbians.
Okay, so there's a woman and a woman.
There's a woman and a
The
woman.
second group is heterosexual couples. So a man and a woman, and that's probably because there's still a woman in that relationship. The least group to get divorced are gays, man and a man, because we understand each other. We're logical human beings. When we argue, it's just one logical fact after another. You know, nobody bringing in shit from the past. We stay on topic. So,
Except for you. You never stay on
I
topic
can't.
for shit.
I really
You are
can't.
the woman in the relationship.
Oh, I am.
then.
I am. I grew my own boobs. You know, I like boobs so much I grew my own. So,
Good for you.
yeah. So also while driving today, I heard a new dating term, and it's called shrekking. Have you guys heard of this?
Explain it.
Yeah, have you guys heard
I
of this?
feel like I've heard of this, yeah.
Okay, so shrekking is a dating term, and it refers to dating someone you consider below your standards with the assumption that because you're out of this person's league, you'll automatically have the upper hand in the relationship and be unlikely to get hurt. So to get shreked is to strategically date down in this manner only to still wind up getting rejected, heartbroken, and or otherwise screwed over by someone you deemed inferior. Isn't that...
So
That's amazing.
So Missy is Fiona.
Yes. Oh, 100%.
All right, steak lovers, this one's for you. You know that moment when you slice into a perfectly cooked, melt-in-your-mouth steak? Pure magic. And that's exactly what Heartland Steak Company delivers. Hand-cut, Midwest-raised, premium meat, straight to your door, because you deserve the best. Growing up in Kansas with a butcher for a stepfather, I learned what real quality beef looks like. When Heartland Steak Company sent me their steaks for my honest opinion, let me tell you, they absolutely delivered. They know their craft, and it showed in every single bite. Build your perfect steak box or grab a grill-ready bundle. Either way, you're getting top-tier flavor. And here's the best part. $25 off any order of $175 or more. Just use promo code WOMEN at checkout. So go ahead, treat yourself. Head to heartlandsteakco.com, load up your cart, and don't forget, promo code WOMEN gets you that $25 off.
Welcome to the Goddard School. Every great journey begins with the right start. And for your little one, that start is at Goddard. With over 35 years of experience in early childhood education, Goddard knows how the right start lays the foundation for a remarkable future. Our skilled teachers and innovative education program guide your child to realize their extraordinary potential. Learn more and schedule a tour at GoddardSchool.com.
Feeling drained, foggy, or just not yourself? This could be the effects of low testosterone levels. Henry Meds has you covered. Our testosterone replacement therapy, or TRT, is available in pills, injectable, or daily creams. Many patients report improvements in energy, mood, and focus. Though individual results may vary, TRT may support sexual function. Go to henrymeds.com/TRT to consult a healthcare provider to see if TRT is right for you. Take the first step to feeling your best again and get $50 off your first month at henrymeds.com/TRT.
Oh, absolutely. I am an ogre, 100%. I have said this forever, that I have married up and I won in this relationship. So.
You did.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's all I got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm going to go get Shrek'd.
You do that.
I
really wish it had something a little bit more to do with those antenna ears.
I mean, they are a little flimsy.
Donkey.
Donkey. Oh, donkey. All right. So, what's today's episode about, ladies?
We're finally doing this episode.
I know. It's on the Villisca axe murder house, which we've been to.
We've all been
to. Maybe not at the same time.
No.
But we've all been there.
Yeah. I think I'm the only one that was with both of you.
You're the connection.
I'm the connection, yeah. I am the missing link. So, yeah, I'm going to start off, and whatever you guys interrupt. You guys know how this goes, right? Just interrupt me whenever you want to say something.
Oh.
All right. So in the early.
All right. So yeah.
Yeah. What else? What else do you have? Do you have anything else to say?
Let's go.
You said I could interrupt you.
In the early summer of 1912, Villisca, Iowa, appeared to embody the American pastoral ideal. With just over 2,000 residents, this quiet farming town in Montgomery County was a place where people felt safe leaving their doors unlocked. It was a place where the rhythms of life were dictated by crop cycles, church bells, and the whistle of the railroad. Small-town trust ran deep through the soil, and the local paper spoke more of harvest and school competitions than of crime or scandal. Yet beneath this calm exterior, there existed all the tensions common to any human community: rivalries, jealousies, and hidden pasts. Villisca was a town caught between eras. Horse-drawn buggies still rattled down dirt streets, yet electricity and industry had begun creeping in from larger cities. The trains that cut through town brought travelers and goods, but they also connected Villisca to the rest of a country that was changing fast. By 1912, the world beyond Iowa was erupting in political change, new technologies, and unsettling news of crime waves from cities like Chicago and New York. To the people of Villisca, however, such horrors still felt distant. The illusion would shatter overnight. Josiah Joe Moore was a respected and prosperous businessman. A devoted husband and father, he once worked for a local power broker and implement dealer Frank F. Jones before opening his own successful store. Joe was ambitious, competent, and well-liked by his independent created enemies. But his independence created enemies. Sarah Moore, Joe's wife, was a pillar of the Presbyterian Church and known for her calm demeanor and devotion to family. Their 4 children, Herman, Catherine, Boyd, and Paul, were well-behaved, smart, and deeply involved in school and church life. The Moore household was known for its warmth and order. On the evening of June 9th, 1912, the family attended a Children's Day program at their church. The event was filled with music, scripture readings, and community pride. 2 friends of the children, Lena and Ina Stillinger, were also present. The girls had asked their parents for permission to stay the night with the Moores. It was a spontaneous decision, one born of innocent excitement. That night, 8 souls would lay their heads down under the roof of 508 East 2nd Street. None would live to see the morning. Sometime after midnight, an intruder entered the Moore home, or perhaps he had already been inside, hiding in the attic. Investigators would later find disturbed dust and cigarette butts in the attic crawlspace, suggesting someone had been there for hours, waiting patiently in the shadows. The killer began with Josiah and Sarah, who were attacked in their bed as they slept. Josiah was struck so violently with the blunt end of an axe that one of his eyes was missing and his skull was pulverized beyond recognition. Sarah, too, was killed in her bed. Afterward, the killer turned his attention to the children's room. One by one, the Moore children were slaughtered as they slept. The attacker did not spare the visiting Stillinger girls. Ina was killed quickly, but Lena showed signs of a struggle. Her body was found with defensive wounds, her nightgown pushed up, and blood smeared across her thigh. Her position on the bed suggested she may have awakened and attempted to escape. The killer then staged the scene. Mirrors were covered, windows were draped, chimney tops were removed from kerosene lamps, dimming the light. A slab of raw bacon was left on the floor wrapped in cloth. A bowl of bloody water sat in the kitchen. The axe was left leaning against the wall in the guest room. The house was locked from within. This was not a random act of violence. It was calculated, it was ritualistic, and it was deeply personal. The next morning, neighbor Mary Peckham noticed the Moores had not started their daily chores. She knocked, then called Joe's brother, Ross Moore. Ross entered the home and quickly stumbled back outside, overcome with horror. What followed was chaos. Instead of securing the crime scene, townspeople began flooding into the house. Some walked room to room, others touched the axe. Someone stole a fragment of Josiah's skull. Children peered into the bloody bedrooms. Evidence was trampled, altered, and destroyed before any formal investigation could begin. The authorities were unprepared. Villisca had never experienced a crime like this. The coroner, Dr. Lindquist, later stated that it was the most dreadful murder he had ever seen. Yet from the very beginning, the chance of a clear resolution was slipping away. In the days that followed, a fever of suspicion gripped Villisca. Whispers filled the air. Theories were born in the backrooms of stores and whispered from pews during services. The local police, overwhelmed, sought help from private detectives, the National Detective Agency, and even psychic mediums. But too much damage had already been done. Crucial evidence was lost. Witness accounts were inconsistent. Motives clashed. No one could agree on who or what could have committed such a monstrous act. Yet one name kept resurfacing: Reverend George Kelly. Reverend George Kelly was a traveling preacher and an odd man by all accounts. Physically slight, with twitchy eyes and a tendency to speak in intense, high-pitched tones, Kelly was known for his fire and brimstone sermons and deep religious paranoia. He had been in Villisca that weekend to participate in the Children's Day program. He had attended a church service that evening and had been invited to spend the night in town. Kelly left town the next morning on a train, but during his travels he began telling fellow passengers that 8 people had been murdered in Villisca. He spoke of the victims in vivid detail, details that had not yet been released to the public. When questioned, he claimed divine insight. Years later, in 1917, George Kelly was arrested and charged with the murders. His confession was inconsistent and rambling, filled with biblical references and strange phrases. He said God had commanded him to slay utterly, and that he had obeyed. He later recanted, claiming the confession was coerced. Kelly went to trial. The first trial ended in a hung jury. The second resulted in an acquittal. Despite being the only person to ever confess to the crime, Kelly walked free. Some believe he was mentally ill and manipulated by authorities. Others believe he was the killer, using his religious fervor as justification for slaughter. While Reverend Kelly's erratic nature and confession made him a sensational subject, he wasn't the only one to raise eyebrows. Villisca had its own brand of political tension, wrapped in small-time rivalries and buried resentment. Josiah Moore's former employer, State Senator Frank F. Jones, became the focus of intense speculation. Moore had worked for Jones for years selling farm equipment. He was the company's top salesman, especially for the coveted John Deere line. But Moore eventually left to start his own competing dealership, allegedly taking the John Deere franchise with him. The business dispute created a rift, one that only widened with time. There were also rumors, difficult to prove but persistent, that Moore may have had an affair with Jones's daughter-in-law, Donna. If true, the motive for revenge could have been both professional and personal. Though Jones was never formally charged or arrested, many believed he had hired someone to carry out the murders. Enter William Blackie Mansfield, a man with a dark history. Mansfield was suspected of murdering his own wife, child, and parents-in-law in Blue Island, Illinois, with an axe. The crime scene bore eerie similarities to Villisca. The use of the blunt side of the axe, the staging of the scene, the absence of theft, and the proximity to a railroad line. Some investigators saw a pattern and claimed Mansfield was a serial killer for hire, perhaps enlisted by Jones to kill the Moores. A Pinkerton detective named James Wilkerson was one of the leading proponents of this theory. Wilkerson devoted years to building a case against Jones and Mansfield. He claimed to have evidence, including eyewitness accounts, handwriting comparisons, and even testimony that Mansfield had been seen in Villisca on the night of the murders. But Wilkerson's theories were never validated by physical evidence. Mansfield was eventually arrested, but he had an alibi. Employment records placed him in Illinois at that time. After his release, he successfully sued Wilkerson for wrongful arrest. Despite the lack of formal charges, public opinion remained divided. Some viewed Jones as an untouchable power broker who had orchestrated the murders and used his influence to escape justice. Others believed the entire theory was fabricated by Wilkerson, who had become obsessed with cracking the case and had allowed confirmation bias to blind him. Still, the Jones-Mansfield theory endured, fueled by whispers, circumstantial details, and the very human desire for a villain who wasn't insane but calculating. Another suspect emerged, not from within Villisca, but from a broader pattern of grisly killings that plagued the Midwest in the early 1900s. Henry Lee Moore, a convicted axe murderer, became a figure of interest after he was found guilty of murdering his mother and grandmother in Columbia, Missouri in 1912, just months after the Villisca killings. Like the Villisca crime scene, the murders attributed to Henry Lee Moore featured a family attacked in their sleep with the blunt side of an axe. There were also claims that he had committed similar crimes in Colorado, Kansas, and Illinois. Moore had a documented history of mental illness and a reputation for violent outbursts. He was also a known traveler, often hopping freight trains to move from state to state. Detectives attempting to link Moore to Villisca pointed to similarities in method and the apparent lack of motive. But the timeline of Moore's confirmed crimes didn't align perfectly with the Villisca case. Moreover, no physical evidence tied him to the scene, and he never confessed. Nonetheless, the theory held sway in some circles. Moore represented the archetype of a drifter killer, a man moving from town to town, leaving destruction in its wake. It fit the narrative of a nation struggling to understand the randomness of evil. Even if Henry Lee Moore wasn't the Villisca killer, his inclusion in the suspect pool revealed a deepening suspicion that this murder might be just one in a larger pattern. As the years passed, and no arrests brought closure to the Villisca case, a new theory emerged. One that expanded the scope of the crime far beyond the small Iowa town. This theory suggested that Villisca was not an isolated event, but part of a string of eerily similar axe murders that spanned from 1898 through 1912. Families slaughtered in the night, faces covered, blunt force trauma from an axe found at the scene. No signs of forced entry, no theft, no clear motive. It was a chilling pattern that pointed to a single, highly mobile killer. In 2017, noted baseball statistician and true crime researcher Bill James, along with his daughter Rachel McCarthy James, published The Man from the Train. The book laid out a compelling case for a single perpetrator, a man they believed to be Paul Mueller, a German immigrant and former farmhand who disappeared after a similar axe murder in Massachusetts in 1897. James and his daughter used historical newspapers, court records, and data analysis to identify a pattern of killings that seemed to follow the rails of rural America. The Jameses identified more than 30 family murders that shared unique features. The killer struck late at night in small towns near railroads. The victims were often entire families and always in their homes. The murders were carried out with a blunt side of an axe, usually one found on the property. Victims' faces were often covered. The killer typically avoided stealing money or valuables. Bacon or meat products were sometimes found near the bodies. Lamps were altered to produce dim light. The killer often remained in the home after the murders, sometimes even eating food or washing up. All of these features were present in the Villisca crime. According to the Jameses, the Villisca murders were a culmination, one of the last and most horrific acts committed by the man they dubbed the Man from the Train. They speculated that Paul Mueller, in a twisted evolution of his psychopathy, had become more confident and theatrical over time. Villisca, with its careful staging, overlapping symbolism, and multiple victims, represented a kind of perverse crescendo. Skeptics of the Jameses' theory argued that the connections between the crimes were circumstantial and that no definitive proof existed that Paul Mueller had even been in Iowa. No known photo of Mueller exists, and no solid evidence ties him directly to Villisca. But supporters argued that the consistency of the murder details, combined with the travel patterns and gaps between similar murders, made the theory not only plausible but likely. If the Jameses were correct, then the Villisca axe murders were not just an unsolved local crime. They were part of one of the most horrifying and underreported serial killing sprees in American history, committed by a man who understood the geography of fear, the vulnerabilities of rural life, and the silence that often follows trauma in small towns. Whether Mueller was a culprit or not, the theory exposed an unsettling truth. Villisca may have been targeted not because of personal grievance or local vendetta, but because it was isolated, unguarded, and located near a train line. The randomness was the point. The town was chosen not for who lived there, but for how easily they could be erased. By now, even the most skeptical investigators could not deny that something unusual, perhaps ritualistic, had transpired inside the Moore home. The details of the crime scene, often recounted in dry forensic terms, were layered with disturbing symbolism that begged for deeper interpretation. What began as a multiple homicide increasingly took on the shape of a ritual slaughter, meticulously arranged and steeped in meaning. The act of covering the victims' faces stood out immediately. In many cultures, shrouding the dead is an act of dignity, a way to prepare the soul for its departure. But in criminal psychology, such covering can signal remorse, or its inverse, an attempt to depersonalize the victim and maintain emotional distance. In Villisca, even the mirrors were covered, an act that has long carried superstitious meaning. It is said that in the presence of death, mirrors must be veiled, lest the soul of the deceased become trapped, or the living catch a glimpse of the death's reflection. That the killer took the time to remove lamp chimneys, creating dim ambient light rather than darkness or brightness, speaks to a carefully controlled atmosphere. This wasn't panic or haste, it was orchestration. The placement of the axe leaned deliberately against the wall suggested a symbolic conclusion to the act, a closing gesture as calculated as a signature at the bottom of a page. Then there was the bacon. 2 slabs of raw bacon were found in the house, one in the guest room near Lena's body and another in the icebox. The first, wrapped in a dishcloth, was discovered alongside a keychain that didn't belong to the family. The object was never explained. Some have interpreted the presence of the bacon as fetishistic, possibly even tied to a sexual act. Others have speculated it was a totem or offering. In folklore, meat left at the scene of a crime has occasionally been associated with spiritual appeasement or sacrifice. The bowl of bloody water in the kitchen also offered troubling implications. Did the killer wash their hands as if completing a sacred rite? Or was it a literal cleansing, an erasure of guilt? Some criminologists believe the act of washing up indicates the killer remained in the home long after the murders, perhaps pacing, perhaps praying, perhaps lost in revere. The layering of these elements, the cloth-covered faces, veiled mirrors, the adjusted lamps, the raw bacon, and bloodied washbowl, produced a tableau that transcended simple violence. It was intimate, intentional theater. The crime scene felt almost ceremonial. Whether these gestures were born from religious mania, sexual compulsion, or a psychopathic artistry remains a matter of speculation. They point to a killer who wanted to control every sensory detail of the space, a killer who choreographed the aftermath as deliberately as the act itself. To stand in the Morehouse, even today, is to stand inside that tableau. The house has been restored to its 1912 condition. The beds remain where they were. The walls carry the weight of unspeakable memory. And even the air seems different, thick with absence. What happened in Villisca was not only a mass murder, it was a ritual, a performance of death that left behind a residue not only of horror, but of meaning, one that investigators, historians, and paranormal researchers are still trying to decode more than a century later. So let's stop right there for a minute. I'm going to start with Lynette.
Yeah, take a breath.
I know, right?
Take a breath.
I know, right? So, Lynette, I want to know if you can recall your first feelings of entering the house back, 5 years ago, I think? Oh, no, well, longer than that.
No, I think it was longer than that.
It was like
at this point.
7 or 8 now?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, so what was...
Yeah, absolutely. So I know you made friends with the lady or the caretaker of the home.
Yeah.
She loved you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember her giving us this tour and we first started in the barn, but as soon as we walked into the house, it's a tiny little farmhouse. You walk in, you're immediately in the kitchen. There's a bedroom off the kitchen. There's a stairway right next to the bedroom. And then there's a little bit of hallway and it's not even a hallway. It's just a connection point between that and the family room, living room, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep.
And we went upstairs where the parents' bedroom and the family kids' bedroom was. The downstairs bedroom was the guest kids' bedroom. And the 3 of us, we were on the stairs and we all just got vertigo all at the same point. And it was so disorienting.
Mm-hmm.
And it felt very hard to breathe. I can still feel that feeling on the stairs. And I was like holding onto the walls and thinking we were all going to tumble down and fall on each other.
Yeah, I agree. It was, walking up the stairs, and the stairs lead basically right to the parents' bed. Like there's
They're kind of steep stairs.
Mm-hmm.
It makes like what little Z or an S curve. You go up 2 steps, you go to the right, like 3 steps, 4 steps, something like that. And then another left or something. It's like a zigzag.
Yep.
And then you're at the foot of the bed.
Right. So
it's almost like, if I had to describe it to people who haven't been there, like if you've been to like a cabin where it's kind of a loft, that's how it makes me feel. Not that it was open, but the fact that you just kind of walk into a small space that connects to another upstairs bedroom. It's not like your modern homes where you have doors. You know what I mean? To a bedroom.
Yeah.
This house didn't have doors to
You
the
have a
bedroom and
roof.
stuff,
You have walls.
Well, I'm just trying to. How do you describe?
Well, it
Yeah,
was like a
so-
loft.
the layout
like,
was weird.
Yeah.
The way that I would describe it is that you're walking through a house with no boundaries of one room to another.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, 'cause
like when you walk from like even like a living room into a dining room, like it's like, oh, okay, I'm exiting X area into another, and where this was just there was just no boundaries. Like, oh, am I in the kitchen? Am I in the family room? Which bedroom am
Am I in a bedroom? Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, Bree, were you going to say something?
Let Bree say
Yeah,
something.
sorry.
And I was gonna say, like, going like upstairs, you automatically are in the parents' bedroom, and it's like if you think like a rich person's house when you're in the main master bedroom and you go down a little hallway, and then it leads to like a big walk-in closet. It's basically almost how it is, except for the big walk-in closet, there's no doors, and that's the kids' bedroom.
That's a kid's bedroom. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a fair point.
Yeah. Yeah. And the weird thing is, like, when they say attic, the attic is just another room off of the parents' bedroom.
It's that little hallway that's
Right, it's that
connecting
tiny little hallway.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I barely fit through. And
Yeah, you.
You kept having, yeah.
yeah, I have to duck and go sideways because I have, 52-inch shoulders. And Jesus.
Well, even I had a duck to go to the attic part.
Yeah.
And I'm short.
Yeah.
I'm 5'2".
I know. Like I get why they call it the attic because it's turned into it
It's
like
not
an
really a
attic.
bedroom. Like it's very pointy roof. Yeah,
like you-
storage
like
type of
like if you hit your head,
A-frame type of shape.
yeah, and if you hit your head, you're not hitting wood. You're hitting the nails that have come through holding the shingles down
For the roof.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, which is really weird. So the one thing
Not a childproof safe home.
no, not at all. So one thing that I remember the second time I went with Bree, Brian, and Emily was we went in, the one guy that helps the lady with the tours gives us a tour.
Mm-hmm.
It's like what, like a 30-40 minute tour. He gives us his stories and whatnot. And then we came back out and he goes, all right, see ya. He went to, and he lives actually next door to the house.
Wow.
Yeah. So same guy, Lynette,
So
from
you
when
did
we
still
went.
have the same. Oh, I thought it was the old lady.
Yeah, no, the old lady
Well, not
was there
old lady,
too.
though.
Yeah, but who did the tour was that one guy. Like,
Oh,
I don't remember his name.
I guess it was.
He's
She
like-
was
he's
just the one
the-
taking the information.
Yeah.
He's like the caretaker of the house. That's why he lives like right next door.
Yeah. So he goes, all right, I'll be next door if you need anything. And he just walks away. And Brian comes up to me and he goes, dude. And this is like Brian's first experience
Ever.
anything paranormal, right? And he's
First Scooby-Doo experience.
yeah, and he's a chemist. He's a scientifically minded person. And he comes up to me, he's like, dude. And I go, yeah. He goes, the vibe and energy in there is so different. I go, dude, when I talk about this shit to you, do you think I was fucking around?
I don't picture him saying vibe and energy either. That's not like
He did
him.
He did say that.
Yeah, I mean,
though.
he did use those
I
words.
believe you, but that's not like
No.
doesn't sound like a vocabulary that he uses regularly.
No, well, I mean, he does listen to EDM, so maybe in his downtown, that's what he listens. I don't know. That's just shitty music to me. But anyway, I digress.
I digress.
So yeah, so I mean, every time, not necessarily every time, the 2 times I've been there, yeah, I just as soon as I walk in, I just get that, like you're walking through molasses. It's just thick air, and it affects me differently every time I go in.
It's like humidity without the dampness. Like I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's thick air. There's no other.
Right.
I don't really know how to
I
describe
didn't
it.
get the thick air. I
Mhm.
got more like when I walked in, I kind of had like sorrow feeling,
Okay.
but I didn't get any like thick air. I didn't get like high energy, I didn't get that energy
Yeah.
feel.
Yeah, I mean, and
It's
everyone.
more, I just felt sorrow.
Yeah. I mean, everyone
Yeah.
is affected differently by whatever that energy is, you know. I think maybe Lynette and I being a little bit more empathic, we kind of pick up similar and have similar experiences. You know, just a thought. So, all right, I'm going to continue on here, ladies.
Okay.
All right. So, decades passed, and the murders faded from front page news to hushed legend. Yet the house at 508 East 2nd Street remained. Time did not demolish it. The decade did not erase the bloodstained shadow that hovered in its corners. It endured, first as a private residence, then as a rental property, and eventually as a place so wrapped in rumor that the curious could no longer stay away. What was once a crime scene became folklore. What was once a family home became a shrine to unanswered questions. In 1994, the house was purchased by Darwin and Martha Lynn. Unlike previous owners who either downplayed or ignored the history, the Lynns embraced it. They restored the house to its 1912 appearance, down to the furnishings and wallpaper. There was no attempt to modernize. This was not nostalgia, it was preservation. They opened the home to the public. Tours were offered, paranormal groups came with their gear, overnight stays were permitted, and the stories began to multiply. Visitors reported cold spots and disembodied voices. Some said they heard children laughing when there were none in the house. Others claimed the lights flickered or the doors opened on their own. A few reported being physically touched as if brushed by invisible hands. Skeptics dismissed the tales as fantasy, but the testimonies grew. One particularly infamous incident occurred in 2014, when a paranormal investigator staying overnight allegedly stabbed himself in the chest while in the north bedroom. He survived and later claimed that he felt overwhelmed by an invisible presence, compelled even to harm himself. The incident made national headlines, reigniting public interest in the case. People no longer just visited to learn about the murders, they came to feel the house. I hate this next sentence. Television shows such as Ghost Adventures and Most Terrifying Places in America feature the home, further solidifying its place in the pantheon of American haunted houses. Investigators claim to capture EVPs, which are electronic voice phenomena, with voices whispering phrases like "help us" and "he's here." Thermal cameras recorded unexplained heat signatures. EMF detectors spiked erratically. In one case, a group reported the sudden overwhelming scent of bacon. Whether one believes in ghosts or not, the house exerted an undeniable psychological weight. Many who spent the night spoke of strange dreams, headaches, or an uncanny sense of being watched. Paranormal or psychological, the effect was real enough, something lingered. Some theorists believe the house holds residual energy, a psychic imprint of the horror that unfolded there. Others go further, suggesting that the killer himself may have left behind a spiritual stain, or that something darker was summoned through the violence and symbolism of the act. There are whispers still that the house is cursed, that those who spend too long within its walls begin to change, that the place watches. The line between history and legend blurs in Villisca. The facts are known, the bodies were found, but the rest, motives, identities, explanations, slip through the fingers like smoke. And so the house waits. Tourists come, investigators probe, writers speculate, but the silence inside the Moore home speaks louder than any theory. It is not just haunted by spirits. It is haunted by what we still don't know. As the 20th century gave way to the 21st, the Villisca axe murders shifted from historical horror to cultural obsession. With the proliferation of true crime documentaries, podcasts, social media accounts dedicated to cold cases, and a growing appetite for unsolved mysteries, the 1912 crime found renewed life. What had once discussed in hushed tones among locals now spread across the internet to global audiences. The murders at 508 East 2nd Street were no longer just Iowa's tragedy, they had become America's mystery. Modern investigators, both amateur and professional, have combed through century-old evidence, speculated through forums and videos, and attempted to apply 21st century forensic science to a crime committed in an era before fingerprints were systematically collected. Some efforts focused on the psychological profile of the killer, using modern behavior analysis to compare suspects like George Kelly, William Mansfield, and Paul Mueller. Others attempted to find overlooked threads, records from nearby towns, obscure court documents, or misfiled police notes that might connect Villisca to other unsolved crimes. True crime podcasters dissected the crime scene with chilling intimacy. Documentary filmmakers returned to the house, juxtaposing archival photographs with present-day footage. Tours of the Moore home grew increasingly theatrical, some featuring period dress guides, others embracing the paranormal aspect full tilt, complete with EMF meters and infrared cameras. The stories attracted academics as well. Sociologists examined the public's fixation with such murders, exploring how communities process trauma through storytelling and myth. Psychologists used the case to discuss mass fear, guilt, and projection in small-town environments. Historians compared Villisca to similar early 20th century crimes in order to map socio-culture patterns in pre-modern law enforcement and criminal justice systems. The popular narrative surrounding the case has evolved with time. Early newspaper reports framed the murders as a grotesque anomaly. In the decades that followed, writers framed the crime through different lenses: madness, betrayal, jealousy, divine punishment. In the modern era, where conspiracy, serial killer mythology, and psychological nuance are part of public discourse, the Villisca case is seen as kind of primal mystery, one that can absorb countless interpretations without ever yielding an answer. Even as technology advances, the new databases emerge, no new hard evidence has surfaced. DNA cannot be pulled from the long corrupted artifacts. Witnesses are long dead. The killer, whoever he was, is dust. But fascination remains, not because people believe the case will suddenly be solved, but because it refuses to fade. It refuses to be forgotten. The Villisca axe murders are studied not only because of the questions they raise about justice, investigation, and evil, but because they serve as a mirror. They reflect our fear of the random, our unease with silence, and our deeply rooted suspicion that sometimes evil doesn't have a name, or a face, or a reason. Sometimes it just enters your house in the dark and never leaves. As traditional investigative avenues dried up, some turned toward the unconventional. Psychic mediums, clairvoyants, spiritualists, and fringe theorists offered their insights into what transpired inside the Moore house. While many scoffed at such methods, others, especially family members and paranormal researchers, saw them as avenues for emotional closure and speculative exploration. Several psychics have claimed to communicate with the spirits of the Moore children and the Stillinger girls. One recurring theme in their accounts was the notion of fear and confusion.
Welcome to the Goddard School. Every great journey begins with the right start. And for your little one, that start is at Goddard. Research shows that 90% of a child's brain development happens in the first 5 years. That's why where your child starts their educational and social-emotional development journey matters so much. With over 35 years of experience as the premier provider of early childhood education, the Goddard School's skilled and caring teachers guide your child to realize their extraordinary potential. And this is further complemented by our innovative education program, designed to spark your child's curiosity and confidently prepare them for what's next. At Goddard, we know the right start makes all the difference. That's why 98% of our students meet or surpass key academic and social benchmarks. Ready to give your child the best foundation for a remarkable future? Learn more and schedule a tour at GoddardSchool.com.
If you're sleeping hot and sweaty, it's impossible to get a good night's sleep. And if your solutions are blasting the AC high all summer and doing constant pillow flips, you've got to check out Coop Sleep Goods. Coop combines advanced cooling technology and personalized comfort to create pillows that help hot sleepers stay sweat-free all summer. The fabrics are breathable and cool to the touch, so you feel an instant chill the moment you lay down. Designed for 50% more breathability, the innovative fill helps you sleep cooler and more comfortably. They also have Tencel sheets that are naturally cooling, lightweight, and feel buttery soft on your skin. If it's not your coolest sleep ever, return it with no questions asked using their 100-night sleep better guarantee. And right now, you can get 20% off your first order. Visit coopsleepgoods.com/comedy to redeem your offer. That's COOP sleepgoods.com/comedy.
Do you have $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Maybe you're even barely getting by making minimum payments. With credit card debt hitting record highs, National Debt Relief offers real debt relief solutions for people struggling to keep up. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy, and you may be able to pay back less than you owe, regardless of your credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe 10, 20, or even hundreds of thousands of dollars in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living increases. To find out how much you could save, visit nationaldebtrelief.com. That's nationaldebtrelief.com.
Fusion. The spirits, they said, did not realize they had died. Some described visions of a man in a long coat with a wide-brimmed hat, his face never fully visible, watching from the attic before descending into darkness. Others claimed to hear children weeping and whispering, asking why their mother wouldn't wake up. In one recorded session conducted by a visiting medium in the 1990s, the psychic reportedly fell into a trance and began speaking in a voice not her own. Quoting scripture in Old English, she repeatedly invoked the phrase, "Slay utterly, spare none." This was unsettlingly close to the language used in Reverend George Kelly's written confession decades earlier, a detail the medium could not have known, as it had never been publicly disclosed in full. Other fringe researchers proposed even stranger theories. Some just suggested that the murders were committed by more than one person, possibly a cult or a secret society. They pointed to the ritualistic elements of the crime scene, the covered mirrors, the arranged bodies, the precise and excessive violence. The theory posits that the act was symbolic, even sacrificial. According to this line of thought, the Moore family may have been chosen not for personal reasons, but for their visibility, their devoutness, their place within the moral fabric of the town. The more metaphysical interpretation proposes that the house itself had become a sort of spiritual vortex, a thin place where the veil between the living and the dead were thin. In this theory, the act of murder did not just end lives, but opened a door. The ritual staging, whether intentional or intuitive, invited something in, and whatever it was, it never left. It fed on fear. It nested in memory. Even the layout of the house has been scrutinized. Some paranormal researchers claim that the structure forms a rough inverted cross when mapped, with the murder scenes at each cardinal point. The attic, they say, becomes a symbolic head, suggesting a dark intelligence behind the crime. Others believe that the killer may have been under the influence of an entity acting as a conduit for something older and darker than human malice. These ideas, of course, defy conventional evidence and historical logic, but they persist because they offer an answer, any answer, where traditional logic has failed. They recognize that some wounds do not close cleanly, and some crimes echo beyond the boundaries of time, space, and understanding. Whether one believes in psychic insight or not, the fact remains the Villisca house continues to provoke, to puzzle, and to haunt. Perhaps not only because of the people who died there, but because of the questions that were never truly laid to rest. All right, so I'm going to stop there as well. What are your guys' thoughts on what happened June in 1912?
I think I think it's obviously a traveler of some sort, someone who takes the train, because you got that railroad that was right there. Honestly, I really don't know who, like, out of all the people that they said in the past, I don't know who I would say, or if it's even someone completely different from everyone that he said that no one even brought up yet. But I definitely think it's definitely a traveler using the train as a route, like transportation.
So you don't think it was like someone from the town?
No.
I've kind of always sat with the train traveler too. I think what makes me, excuse me, kind of sit that with that theory is something actually similar happened in Geneva, Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
There was, I did one of those. Oh, okay. My my Siri is listening to me talk, saying she found me on the web. Okay. Stop listening to me, AI, creeping me out.
Yeah.
No, but there was in the early 1900s, if I'm getting my dates right,
Mhm.
there was a person who was murdered in Geneva, and they don't know who the person that was killed, who that person was, nor do they know who did it. So they put the deceased individual in one of the storefront windows
Okay.
for like a week,
Wow.
saying like, "Do you know this person?" sort of thing. I don't know, but
Wow.
as far as my understanding, or as far as that little tour that we did, they never found out who the victim was nor who committed the crime. So I was like, oh, well, maybe there was just train hopping murderers running around in the 1900s.
Yeah. I mean,
What a time to like. I hate this morbid side of my brain, but like if I wanted to commit some crimes, like I was born in the wrong,
right.
the wrong century.
Yeah.
Just need to go back a couple centuries and get away with murder, quite literally.
Yeah.
Well, even so, I feel like in the early 1900s, late 1800s, everybody murdered by axe. Because you got to remember Lizzie Borden.
Everybody's got an axe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Lizzie Borden. That was late 1800s.
Yeah. But you know, I mean, it was just, it was convenient, I guess, to have an axe, you know?
I need to get an axe.
But I've said this several times, like back then, I have a hatchet. Do you want that?
It works just as good, so yeah, sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's easier to swing. It's much lighter.
Yeah, as long as it's sharp.
Well, no, there's a blunt side to it.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, we're good.
That was one detail you actually didn't include in this story.
What?
That it was one of the very first things that you brought up is when the parents were attacked, the attackers swung their axe or whatever. Obviously, they were struck with the blunt side, not the sharp side.
Mm-hmm.
The sharp side left a cut in the ceiling. Like the axe got stuck in the ceiling because they pulled their hand back and
he swung it too
the sharp
hard.
side got stuck. Yeah.
Yeah. That's right. I did not include that. But,
and you can still see the axe marks too. Like it's, I don't know if it's something that the owners now put there so people can see, or is actually was there from the original. I can't remember what they said.
I think they put something there to so it stands out.
To kind of like mimic.
I mean, no, it's the real like missing wood. It's from the actual crime.
As I'm saying, I couldn't remember if it was or not.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, another weird thing is that I can get downstairs the Salinger girls. The one woke up, but upstairs, nobody got out of bed. Nobody woke up.
Well, even if so, if like the kids heard it, they can't escape because the only way to escape is to go through where the murder was happening. So for all we know, they could have been already freaking out, but they weren't not leaving their bed because they were scared shitless.
Yeah, but I understand that, but they still they found them in bed, and
as I'm saying, like they're too
well,
scared.
He did
like,
stage a whole bunch of stuff.
Also, too, like when I was little and I was scared or something, I literally stayed in my bed because I was too afraid to leave.
Just pulled the covers over your head.
Yeah, like I pulled the covers over my head. I made sure not to look anywhere. Like I was too scared to leave my bed. So I can only imagine the kids probably did the same way. They don't want to leave their bed. They're too scared.
Yeah, but
especially if the noise is coming from their parents' room.
Yeah, but the one girl downstairs was trying to escape. So I mean, and things are staged, but it doesn't look like the bodies were staged a certain way because they still found the one Salinger girl trying to escape and get out. Like I don't know. I mean, obviously, we don't know, but it just still seems weird to me. So let's talk about some weird stuff that happened to us when we were there. Lynette, I'm going to give you the floor, and you can start off with
I'm trying to
our.
remember.
I know it was a long time
Well,
ago.
the weirdest thing was you fell asleep in one of the beds. You're like, I'm just gonna sleep where little Susie Snowflake was, and you were
Listen,
out.
I was out like a light. Like that was the
It was a
weirdest
long
thing.
drive.
No, but regardless, that was the weirdest thing. Like I typically don't fall asleep that easily or stay asleep very easily either. But you guys tried to wake me up, didn't you?
Yeah, you wouldn't move, and honestly, I feel like a lot of that probably had to do with the house just felt so draining.
Yeah.
It felt like an energy suck.
And I slept so well for that 2 hours, maybe?
Yeah, you did. It was at least an hour. It was probably closer to an hour and a half, maybe even 2.
Yeah. And I wake up.
We're really trying to can't do an investigation because you're.
Yeah, I do snore. Yeah, that does suck. But I wake up and the house is pitch black and nobody's
Yeah, we left you
inside.
in there. We're
Yeah.
like, screw it.
Yeah. They left me and they went to go sleep in their car. So
We needed some sleep.
yeah, no, absolutely.
Well, that was at the end. Yeah.
I mean, in our paranormal group, there are people left behind.
We didn't go sleep in the car at that point. We left some digital recorders and we were just hanging out in the
Left some
barn for a
digital
little bit.
recorders.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for that. You are protected by the battery power of our recorders.
Yeah. No, but I do know that, or I do remember we did a little bit of a rotation, 1 or 2 people in the house by themselves for 15 minutes or so at a time,
Mhm.
30 minutes if you're more comfortable with. And when I was in the house, I always pronounce the guest Lena and Sal.
Yeah,
How do you say that?
Lena and
What's the
Ina
last name?
Salinger.
I know, but what was Salinger? Okay. I wasn't sure if I was to say that right. When I was in that main room right off the kitchen, I was using the portal, I think, and was having some really interesting back and forth conversations. And it wasn't fear that was being felt in that room. It was a little bit more resolve or peace or acceptance. It is what it is kind of thing
Mm-hmm.
in that room. So really just, I think my purpose in there was if there was anything stuck or whatever to perhaps help them move on and leave the confines if they felt that they were bound. But then in the upstairs, this is at a different point. You and I, were we in the attic? Or
Mhm.
no, we were in the attic at one point, but we were in the bedroom where you fell asleep, where the upstairs kids' bedroom.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
We were there. And I think the portal, because Steve was there.
Yes. Yes.
And I think it goes, Steve. And he's like, did that say Steve? And he's Scooby-Dooed
Right out of there.
right out of there down those stairs. He's like, no way, man. I'm out of here.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That is awesome.
That was funny.
Yeah, but then also
having that.
in that same bedroom where I think it was definitely before I fell asleep. But I remember we're in there and we're all just quiet. We're all just taking in the environment. And Lynette just out of the blue goes, "Is anybody else feeling very hostile?" And I'm like, "Yes, me." You know,
Yeah.
Me,
I
me,
can't
me,
remember.
me,
Were we
me,
in the
me.
bedroom or were we in the
Yeah.
attic part?
no, we were in the bedroom at that part because it was
We're in the bedroom
we
part,
were
okay.
it was Steve, Lisa was there, and I forget Steve's brother's name.
Rudy.
Rudy.
Yeah,
We were all there, and I'm like, I feel like I just want to just suplex somebody out the window for no reason. It was so weird.
Yeah. And I think our equipment was starting to go a little haywire.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like there was, I don't know. I was just, it honestly. So when we went to the Monroe house, that's how I felt at Villisca. That
Mm.
pent up, I'm going to blow up and yell at anybody I just felt rage.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just sitting there having a conversation. All of a sudden, I'm like, I feel rageful.
Yeah, it's weird because like I can tell when you're feeling that way, and I feel the same thing, but for whatever reason, it's weird. Like, I'm going to try to explain like how I feel it, because I think we all feel it differently. So when I feel it, it's as though it's a secondary feeling to me. Does that make sense? Like my normal self, but I have
Not yours.
Yeah, it's not mine, right? And like I can usually choose not to act upon it, but it's really hard. But I could see you at the Monroe house, like you were about to blow up. And I'm like, yeah, let's go outside, guys. Let's go.
But the whole time, like you said, I knew it wasn't my emotion.
Right.
But I think it just tells me I need to do a better job of like protecting or grounding myself, because I clearly can pick up on that stuff. And I say mean things. I say really mean things. I don't mean to say mean things.
I think it's
I
hilarious.
think I was getting mad at Lisa about like a battery pack.
Yeah,
Like,
the most insignificant thing.
Can you plug in the battery?
Yeah. Oh, it was so.
Frank's like, we're gonna go outside.
Yeah,
Okay,
we're gonna go. I think that's a good idea. But
little do we all know is Lynette actually using this as an excuse. She just wants to get her anger out just real quick and be like, no, that wasn't me.
Stop it.
She fucking annoyed me the whole drive here. I'm getting it out now.
And I'm going to use the spirits as an excuse.
We had to listen to Disney sing-along the whole drive here.
Oh, God, that's great. Fuck. That's so funny. So when I went with Bree, Emily, and Brian, I was like so gung ho. I'm like, all right, this is my second time here. I'm like, I remembered every single nook and cranny of the place as I walked in, and I'm like, everything just came flooding back. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna control this bitch. This bitch is gonna be mine. So I spent so much time alone in that house that night, and I remember I was in the attic. And I had the noise canceling headphones on, and I just closed my eyes and I tried to just relax and just take in everything. And I felt as though something, I mean, I'm going to just say an energy, a force was trying to guide me out of the attic, which kind of just pushed me out. Like that's just the feeling, the intention. When you're walking around like a museum and like the guy who's leading to you is like, all right, guys, come on, let's go this way. He kind of like, does a whole gesture and you kind of feel that energy. Okay, I should go this way. It was the same thing, but I was by myself. No one else was in the house. Then Emily came upstairs in the attic and she sat down and she's like, and I'm like, yeah, just chill, relax, close your eyes, whatever. And we were there for like 15, 20 minutes just in silence. And I go, what did you feel? She's like, I don't know. I go, well, let me tell you what I felt. And I just start rambling. You know me, in the moment, I just ramble. And she goes, that's exactly what I felt. And I'm like, yeah. I go, this is just a weird place.
What was it that you felt? Are you talking about the frustration again?
Yeah, it was frustration. It was getting pushed out, trying to get led out, something not wanting me there. Yeah, I mean, like all this, just leave, and and she felt the exact same thing. And like, I think that was her journey as well. Her first time.
That was her first one. Yeah. And she's also in a scientific mind.
Yeah. And as as her and my friendship grew, we would talk about being an empath because she is an empath. 100, that,
and she's still in denial.
Yeah, she's still in denial. I'm like, listen, I go, we felt the exact same thing. Like, I had no idea what you were feeling, like this is evidence, like, this is repeatable evidence, right? We can repeat this wherever we go. So yeah, it was just so cool. Like, it's like those like little things, Lynette, in an investigation that aren't really picked up by any equipment or anything, but it's just like that personal experience that you get to share with someone. And it's like, that's so impactful in the moment and afterwards. It's like, there's no way we could have felt the same thing. It's like we both put our hands in the fire and felt it burn at the same time,
Yep.
So And then Bree.
What was the other thing that happened? Oh yeah. I want to hear Bree's story.
Yeah, Bree. Tell us about your encounter with the incubus.
The incubus. No, so when we went, there was a thunderstorm going on. So we had thunder, lightning.
Same when
you guys went to?
Yeah, right, Lynette?
It was, I don't know. There was thunder. I don't know if it was during our investigation, but there was storms the whole time up there and when we were sitting in the car at the end.
Yeah, so weird that happened on both my trips. Years apart.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun. Sorry, go ahead, Bree.
Yeah, so, but anyway, yeah. The whole night it was thunder and lightning, downpouring. When we were in the 3 kids' room upstairs, I was in the center bed, the one that was facing like the doorway into the hallway into the parents' room. And at that point, I want to say it was actually quiet. Like the rain wasn't as bad. Like the thunder kind of calmed down a little bit during this time. And all of a sudden, I started getting very panicky, and I had a panic attack.
Oh.
Everyone else was calm
Sure.
around me. I was the only one having a panic attack. And the best way I can describe it is that I felt like I was getting attacked. Like I was scared for my life and I was getting attacked. That's what it felt like. I don't want to say funny, but the weird part about the whole situation is right before we went in, because this was our last time going in, Frank wanted to do an experiment. He was like, let's say a prayer before we go in. So he did, I think he did a St. Michael's prayer, right?
Yeah, it was St. Michael's, and then
So
Emily wanted to do the Lord's Prayer.
Yeah, so she wanted to do the Lord's Prayer. So he did his prayer, and then we did a Lord's Prayer. We all held hands. I was the only one that didn't repeat it or didn't say it. I just kept quiet, and Frank, Brian, and Emily were all saying the Lord's Prayer. I didn't say anything. I just stood there.
You atheist.
Apparently. and I was the only one. And then that's when we went upstairs and just sat in the room. And that's when I started feeling that way. And then when I started getting that panic attack, I'm like, I wanted to leave. Frank literally took me. He like, stand up and sit in a spot. So I went to go sit in the older sister's bed away from the door. And all of a sudden, instantly felt better.
Huh. Something was there.
Oh, yeah, I remember Frank getting so pissed. He was just like,
I was so
don't
mad.
you attack her.
I was so mad. I was yelling at nothing.
Me.
Yeah, I was yelling. Yeah, it's exactly.
He got in Frank protective mode.
Dude,
like he was just like, no.
Like, yes. So whenever something like that happens, I go into that defend
Papa Bear.
Right.
Yeah.
And I always think of that scene in The Exorcist when the priest is like, take me, and he gets possessed and then jumps out the window. I always think of it. That always pops in my head. It's so weird that you said that, because that's exactly the line in that movie. So yeah, I go extreme. Like I took every single piece of religious thing off of me, and I'm like, come get me, bitch. And yeah, I'm like, let's go. It was weird because it was even.
They're like, no, you're already on our side.
I know.
We don't need more of you. We need to convert.
Yeah. I mean, Satan doesn't want you in hell. I mean, we're not coming near you.
He said, leave this one.
Yeah, leave this one. It was cold that weekend too. It was like in the 40s.
It was cold, yeah. It was one of those weird times because we went like right after my birthday, which was in May.
Yeah, beginning of
early May. But it was still cold out. It was like
at night it dropped
50s?
to like the 40. Yeah, it was 50s during the day and like 40s at night. So they had that air conditioner upstairs in the bedroom, in the parents' room.
Mm-hmm.
It also does heat. So I was standing in front of that. The heat is blowing on me and I am hot. But you know how, you guys have seen it. Whenever something's around me, I just get goosebumps head to toe.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could see.
It could be like 90 degrees, 100 degrees, and you just get like goosebumps just go on your arms. Yeah.
It's so weird. I just had just head to toe. And then Bree was like, I'm having a panic attack. And I'm like, oh, all right, let's fuck some shit up. So, yeah. Like, I wish I knew a way on how to fight a spirit, besides just getting mad and yelling at it.
Yelling in thin air.
Yeah.
Take me.
Yeah. 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 I get angry at that shit. So, yeah. What else? What yeah, go ahead.
I wasn't there, so I don't know if you were, but the barn Was it Lisa and Steve in the barn by
Yeah.
themselves?
Yeah, it was Lisa and Steve. Something like
I
there was a voice or
Don't know how to tell
something.
this story, but
Yeah.
we
I
were
have a
in the
funny story
house.
about the barn. Go ahead.
So the way the property is, this barn is immediately next to this house, and it's bigger than the house.
Yes.
Like the house is tiny, and there's this giant barn. You can store your stuff in there. I think they have a bathroom, and
It's
whatever.
like home base. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically. So I feel bad like telling the story because I wasn't there, but from what I remember, Lisa and Steve were downstairs. It's a double-storied barn or whatever, and the lights go on upstairs. And I can't remember if they're like, it's one of those heavy-duty switches that make like a click,
Mm-hmm.
what I'm talking about, like those big industrial light switches or whatever.
Yeah.
And they couldn't figure out who, what, where, or how they went on. Obviously, they're still just getting equipment set up, so they didn't have it recorded, but I think it went on and maybe even off too. I don't know. We'll have to ask Steve.
Yeah.
Should have checked with him before.
Yeah, that's all right.
Before this.
Yeah, that's all right.
Nah.
Yeah.
He ran out of the house like a little bee.
Oh,
He doesn't get to tell a
Jesus.
story.
I swear to God. I mean, this kid, I don't get it. I just don't get it. Because I don't think I'm a brave individual by any means whatsoever, So,
He's just a weenie.
yeah, he is.
Well, my funny story has to do with the other part of the Scooby-Doo duo.
Duo.
Yeah, Shaggy and
This is before
Scooby.
they even knew each other.
Yeah, right.
Let's hear the Brian Doobie-Doo story.
So Emily and I were in the barn, just like relaxing. Brian and Frank were in the house. Emily we were talking, we were playing with the cat that was there, and like we're just sitting there.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever. All of a sudden, a big thunder and lightning, just a huge thunder goes boom. And as that happens, the door flies open and Brian comes running in.
Of
And
the
we're
barn?
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
He
like,
ran out of
bangs
the house.
like it literally is like we all, Emily and I were like, what the fuck? Like, what happened? Like first we jumped because it was a big thunder, and then like the second,
Yeah.
he had this boom with the door opening and Brian running through, like panicking. And we were like, what the hell? And let Frank talk.
Yeah, we were in the house and something happened. Oh, no, this is what it was. Oh, so we were upstairs and Brian's like, I gotta go out. I'm like, okay, go ahead. I'm going to stay in here for a while. He goes, I'm not going to go down there by myself. And I go, what do you mean? He goes, I'm too scared to walk 6 steps down and 5 steps to the door. Literally.
Yeah, because it's a tiny house.
Literally, we're talking about 11 steps to get out of the house. And he goes,
and like only like 10 feet, not even 10 feet, like maybe like 8 feet from the house to the barn.
and I'm just like,
Yeah.
you got to be, I go, I'm not walking out with you and then coming back in. I go, that's not happening. You're an adult.
It's raining.
Well, I mean, you're an adult. You're a male adult human. And
And you decided to come here.
right, dude, he sprinted out of that house so fast.
And that's when he came bursting in.
Yeah. So another time. So it's towards the end of the night when Bree, Ryan, and I were there, and I go, I would like to do like a couple of solo experiments. I would like each of us to take 10, 15 minutes, whatever room you want in the house, and kind of do an EVP session and just see who can pick something up.
Mm-hmm.
All 3 of them look at me and go, no. I'm like, okay.
I don't mind doing stuff. I just don't want to be by myself.
I go, okay. I go, how about we go in pairs? And they look at each other. They don't say anything, and they just look at each other. And I
I
go,
was personally fine with the pairs. I just want to be by myself.
so I then go, okay, how about we go in pairs and I'll go with each one of you? And they all said, okay, that's good. That's a good idea. I'm like, I'm not like, I'm not like, I don't know, like, I'm not a shield. Like, things happen to me too.
Welcome to the Goddard School. Every great journey begins with the right start. And for your little one, that start is at Goddard. With over 35 years of experience in early childhood education, Goddard knows how the right start lays the foundation for a remarkable future. Our skilled teachers and innovative education program guide your child to realize their extraordinary potential. Learn more and schedule a tour at GoddardSchool.com.
Feeling drained, foggy, or just not yourself? This could be the effects of low testosterone levels. Henry Meds has you covered. Our testosterone replacement therapy, or TRT, is available in pills, injectable, or daily creams. Many patients report improvements in energy, mood, and focus. Though individual results may vary, TRT may support sexual function. Go to henrymeds.com/TRT to consult a healthcare provider to see if TRT is right for you. Take the first step to feeling your best again and get $50 off your first month at henrymeds.com/TRT.
If you're sleeping hot and sweaty, it's impossible to get a good night's rest. And if your solutions are blasting the AC high all summer and doing constant pillow flips, you've got to check out Coop Sleep Goods. Coop combines advanced cooling technology and personalized comfort to create pillows that help hot sleepers stay sweat-free all summer. The fabrics are breathable and cool to the touch, so you feel an instant chill the moment you lay down. Designed for 50% more breathability, the innovative fill helps you sleep cooler and more comfortably. They also have Tencel sheets that are naturally cooling, lightweight, and feel buttery soft on your skin. If it's not your coolest sleep ever, return it with no questions asked during their 100-night Sleep Better Guarantee. And right now, you can get 20% off your first order. Visit coopsleepgoods.com/comedy to redeem your offer. That's COOP sleepgoods.com/comedy.
Confronting high credit card debt can feel scary. But the good news is, if you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt, financial relief options are now available. National Debt Relief is currently offering debt relief designed to reduce what you owe, fast-tracking your way to being debt-free. If you qualify for debt relief, you may be able to pay back significantly less than what you owe and save thousands of dollars. Imagine only paying one low monthly program payment you can afford and saving money as you become debt-free. National Debt Relief has already helped bring debt relief to over 550,000 U.S. consumers, earning thousands of five-star reviews and an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. You're stronger than your credit card debt. Take the first step and visit nationaldebtrelief.com to see what debt relief you qualify for. That's nationaldebtrelief.com.
Well,
like
at least
it's one of
he
those
could be
power
faster than
numbers.
him.
No, what I think
Power
it is
numbers.
that, you know what? All right, we're going to go in this house with something that's more evil than what's in the house. So we'll be okay.
Oh, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, with me though, like I'm afraid of the dark and I hate the unknown. So, like, that's why I don't like to be by myself. And you guys see me like, what was that place we went to? And the Mormon place.
The Mormon place.
Remember, it was like a city of Mormons.
Oh, the Cambry house.
That little
Yeah,
Cambry
Cambry house.
house.
Remember, like I was like even explaining, like it's that unknown thing. I freak out. I freak myself out in my head.
Yeah.
Which makes me afraid of dark because I
Yeah.
freak out not knowing something, and that's why I don't like being by myself.
Yeah. Well,
'Cause I get in my own head.
I think it's time to start building that bridge. You know, I mean, you are a 30-year-old woman, adult woman, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So start building
I
that
think
bridge.
I needed to correct one thing in my story though.
Yeah.
Because when you talked about the thunder, I do recall when we were in the house, that's right around the time we started getting angry. I think the
Mhm.
whole storm was charging up the house.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Mhm.
I think you're right. But like when we were there with Bree and I, after like the thunderstorm came, I mean, it rained, it poured, it thundered, it passed. After it passed is when everything just went radio silent. Like the house felt different. It was just a totally different house at that point.
Yeah. All three of you guys felt
Nothing.
like something just lifted off your shoulders, basically, like
Yeah.
lighter.
Just bye.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, we need to go back. We need to make a third trip, I think.
Third time's a charm.
Yeah. Right. There.
I want to hear footsteps.
I want to go
I was
back.
gonna say, did we hear the piano ting?
Yes, we did. Yes.
I'll say because there's like an old out-of-tune piano in
Yeah.
there, and
Yeah.
I think it made weird babongs.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, I just remembered that as you said it. I also want to go back to Beatty too.
You always
It's a
want to go back to
massive
Beatty.
place. Yeah.
I know.
I'm
Beatty's
still
a
upset
fun-
with that time I go to Beatty. You guys, the first time you guys go, you had activities. Second time I go with you guys, nothing.
I think it was because it was too cold. Either that
Or there's too many people.
Too many people.
No, it was Goldilocks.
Oh,
The first time we go, it was just 3 of us.
Yeah.
The house is like 75,000 square feet.
Yeah.
It's huge. And it was a million freaking degrees.
Okay,
And then going to the bathroom with a
3
hole
o'clock in the morning.
floor.
Okay, it was 88 degrees outside.
Yeah, with like 90% humidity.
Yes. Like I sweat, so I was never dry. My asshole was sopping wet.
Yeah. And then the next time we go, it's -20.
Right.
And there's no heat. So
Right.
We all have like those like heaters in our gloves or like
Ugh.
bundled up.
So it's just Goldilocks. Third time, it should be just right.
Yeah, right. We got to do it. We got to see if that works out that way.
It might be.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, there's so many places I want to go back to.
See, next time we go, we definitely have to plan like a trip so we can stop at the Saley house.
Yeah, I really want to do like a week's trip of like 2-3 places. I think that would be awesome.
Well, this one would be perfect if we do Axe Murder House, go to
Mhm.
Saley House, and then end at Beatty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The trifecta of death.
The Midwest Bermuda Triangle.
There we go. Yeah. I don't
Well, it's
know.
more like a straight line.
I'm not sure which one of us would survive that week. I mean, we're with each other for a full week. Like, I'm not sure how many trips you've gone on full weeks with people who aren't your significant other or a family member. It's tough.
Mhm.
It's
It is tough.
Mhm.
I've gone on many fishing trips for 7-10 days with the same 3 assholes that I love to death and would love to bury at the same time. And it's rough. It's like you're at each other's, like we've gotten in fights,
Mhm.
but guys, we will have a fist fight and then 10 minutes later have a beer together,
Yeah. I've been there.
Yeah. So, I mean,
With my girlfriend.
yeah, right.
Chokehold.
Yeah.
Stop playing Disney music.
Tell me more.
Stop playing Disney music.
That's awesome. All right. Anything else before I continue on?
No, there's more.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There's always more.
Always more.
But wait, there's
Okay.
more.
All right.
All
let's
right.
see.
Go on with your bad self.
All right. So even after more than a century, the town of Villisca has never fully recovered from what happened on June 10th, 1912. The shadow of that night has stretched across generations, not only because of the unspeakable violence, but because of the silence that followed. As decades passed, the physical evidence of the murders may have faded, but the psychic and emotional residue embedded itself into the town's memory. Villisca residents still speak of the murders, though often in hushed tones. Older generations passed the story down to children as both warning and folklore. Some families claim their ancestors had seen or heard things that were never reported. Others insisted they knew who did it, but couldn't prove it or feared retribution from forces more powerful than themselves. A culture of secrecy and superstition quietly settled in, wrapping the town in a sense of unresolved guilt. For years after the murders, the town's civic life suffered. Real estate values dipped, the Moores' former home became difficult to sell, families left. Others chose to stay, stubbornly determined to reclaim the town's narrative. But even when Villisca tried to move on, national attention would return in waves, especially as new theories emerged or television crews came to film. The children of Villisca grew up with the knowledge that their town was infamous. Teachers debated how much to share in classrooms. Churches tried to frame the tragedy within moral and theological lessons. Tour guides rehearsed their scripts, and yet the unease remained. The axe murders became a litmus test for the community. How much you talked about it, how much you believed about it, and how you interpreted its meaning said a great deal about who you were. Some residents embraced the notoriety. Local shops sold T-shirts and memorabilia. Others resented it, believing the town had been unfairly defined by a single heinous night. Yet even the detractors couldn't escape the fact that their community existed in a permanent relationship with the unsolved past. It became their story, whether accepted or not. Historians and journalists who visited often remarked on the strange energy of the town. not just in the house itself, but in the people. Some spoke of subtle heaviness in the air, others felt a kind of quiet vigilance, as if the townsfolk had trained themselves to live with trauma in plain sight. The physical boundaries of Villisca never changed, but psychologically it had become a place suspended between then and now, between the known and the unknowable. To live in Villisca was to carry a burden that could not be named without also invoking grief, fear, and the frustrating absence of closure. Time moved forward, but the story never resolved. Generations passed, and the house remained. And so did the question. Despite the hundreds of suspects questioned, thousands of pages of notes and reports compiled, and over a century of speculation, the Villisca axe murders remained officially unsolved. Yet from this vast constellation of theories, 3 have consistently emerged as the most enduring and compelling. The first theory centers around Reverend George Kelly, the traveling preacher who happened to be in town for the Children's Day program on the night of the murders. Kelly's erratic behavior, voyeuristic history, and unsolicited confession years later placed him at the center of the investigation. His admission of guilt, complete with religious overtones and phrases like "slay utterly," seemed to match the crime's unsettling spiritual and symbolic ambiance. Those who believe in Kelly's guilt often point to his need for control, his perverse religious delusions, and his intimate knowledge of the crime scene. He may have seen himself as an agent of divine justice, cleansing the world of perceived sin. Yet his confession was riddled with inconsistencies and obtained under dubious circumstances. In court, he was acquitted, leaving some to argue that he was nothing more than an immensely unstable man pulled into a vortex of suspicion. The second theory involves Senator Frank F. Jones and the alleged contract killing carried out by William Blackie Mansfield. Here the motive is both personal and political. Josiah Moore had not only left Jones' businesses to open a competing enterprise, but had also allegedly carried on an affair with Jones' daughter-in-law. The idea of the prominent businessman hiring a hitman to restore his pride and protect his family's honor resonates with the logic of a revenge narrative. Mansfield, a known criminal with a history of axe murders, fit the psychological profile. He was arrested, briefly detained, and then released when alibi documents placed him elsewhere. The theory holds that Jones, with his influence, could have orchestrated the entire cover-up. Though never proven, the theory is bolstered by how thoroughly certain community members refused to speak against Jones, suggesting a town under the unspoken rule of political fear. The third theory expands beyond Villisca's borders entirely and envisions the crime as part of a string of familiar murders attributed to a serial killer operating across state lines. Bill James and Rachel McCarthy James's theory of the man from the train, believed to be Paul Mueller, paints a picture of a drifter who committed dozens of family murders across the United States and possibly into Canada. The Villisca murders match the pattern exactly: proximity to a rail line, use of the family's own axe, nighttime slayings, faces covered, lamps dimmed, bacon left behind, no valuables taken. The Jameses argue that Mueller, a former German farmhand, escaped justice by virtue of mobility and the limitations of early 20th century law enforcement. In this theory, Villisca was selected not for who lived there, but for how it fit the killer's criteria. Each theory offers a framework for understanding what happened that night. Kelly's theory appeals to the psychological and theological aspects of the crime. The Jones-Mansfield angle offers a classic tale of jealousy, power, and cover-up. The Mueller theory confronts us with the terrifying idea that Villisca was a random stop in a much longer journey of blood. And yet none of them can explain everything. Kelly was mentally unstable, but perhaps too physically weak to overpower 8 people without a sound. Jones had a motive but lacked proof. Mueller was never officially in Villisca, and no physical evidence connects him directly to the town. So the case remains open. Not in the courts, perhaps, but in the imagination. In every theory proposed, there is a kernel of truth and a shadow of doubt, and in Villisca, doubt is the only certainty that's ever been proven. There are murders that shock, murders that horrify, and murders that mystify. The Villisca axe murders managed to do all 3, and then something more. They transcended their era, their location, and even their forensic limitations to become a haunting parable of unanswered questions and collective dread. It was never just about who swung the axe. It became about what kind of world could allow such a thing to happen and remain silent afterwards. More than a century later, the Moore home still stands, as if defying time itself. The rooms are not simply old, they are arrested. They hold within them a tension, a lingering vibration like a taut string that has never been plucked. Tourists who visit describe feeling watched. Investigators report inexplicable malfunctions in their equipment. Mediums claim to hear voices echoing from beneath floorboards. Whether one believes in ghosts or not, few walk away from the house unmoved. The murders represent a dark alchemy of variables: small-town politics, religious extremism, psychological instability, and a deeply flawed justice system. They remind us that truth is not always accessible and that closure is not a guarantee of peace. The real legacy of Villisca may not be in the details of the case, but in the silence it left behind, in the void that exists when a community chooses survival over truth, and when a culture trades justice for forgetting. Villisca is not alone. Other towns have faced their own midnight horrors, but few have had theirs preserved so precisely in time, so completely in structure, so relentlessly in spirit. The house has become more than a house. It is a reliquary, a repository of trauma, and perhaps in its own way a memorial, not only to the 8 who died, but to all those who have lived in the shadow of unanswered violence. Perhaps the final tragedy is not that we don't know who did it. Perhaps the real tragedy is that we may never truly want to know, because if the killer was a stranger, then no one is safe. If the killer was one of their own, then everyone was complicit. And if the killer was something else entirely, an idea, a symbol, a curse, then the fear can never be exorcised. The case file may be closed, but the wound remains open. The echoes do not fade, and in Villisca, the night of June 10th, 1912, never truly ended. It waits in the dark, and it watches. So there's also, I'm not sure if I'm going to go through this, but I added a timeline of events, which I think we pretty much did, and then the known victims, which we kind of went into that. So, all right.
Yeah.
So,
Just shame.
yeah, I mean, it really, really is sad. I mean, aside from what drives us is the paranormal aspect of it. I mean, it really gets lost and becomes the minutia of the story that
These were real people.
8 people lost their lives, 6 of which were children, and I think all were under the age of 10.
Yeah, and 2 of them weren't even really supposed to be there.
Yeah. I mean, it can speak to destiny. It could, it could speak to a lot of different things, and, quote unquote, playing with the paranormal can be fun and exciting. But yeah, I mean, you're right, Lynette. These are real people that really existed. Lives were broken that day.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, just, I mean, I really hope that the children, their soul's essence, energy really isn't there anymore or ever was. I hope they were able to move on and find peace, and the parents as well. But I mean, it's the children that really tug at my heartstrings.
Yeah, and I often wonder, like, if, you can sit in your chair and you can talk to your deceased loved ones and, know that they're there with you, or at least I believe that I'll talk to them and be like, help me find this, or, have a day-to-day conversation with my deceased loved one. And, sometimes I sit back and I wonder, am I keeping them here? Am I keeping them bound to earth by talking to them versus letting them continue on their spiritual growth and journey? And then it makes me wonder about paranormal investigations, especially when there's like high level foot traffic of come rent this house and come stay here, such as Villisca. Do we, by calling them, actually bind them to the earth plane as well. And then that makes me
Preventing them from
sad.
crossing over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never thought about it that way, but that's a sad way to think with that. It's just, it sucks.
And maybe there's a difference between having a happy or, like when I talk to my grandpa or my grandma, whatever, they're not, it's not like a paranormal investigation. It's just like, hey, grandpa, hey, uncle, whatever, having those conversations, and it's more lighthearted. But people go into those houses investigating and they watch your Bobo Baggins show and they think it's all about harassing and intimidating and demanding, and it comes from a place of negativity. So does that do more harm holistically than, just,
Yeah.
hey, grandma, where'd I leave my car keys? I can't find my car keys. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. No, I mean, 100%. I mean, I don't think by us talking to our deceased loved ones that we're keeping them earthbound. I mean, their energy, and they can split their energy up and still be everywhere at the same time. When they say your loved ones are always with you, I think that's it. It's like, I've used this analogy many times. It's like you take a glass of water and you can split that up into, say, 10 shots. And does any one shot hold more or less information or energy than the whole water glass in itself? And the answer is no. And the energy works the same way.
but I feel like if you hold on to negativity with your feeling of that lost loved one, it's
Mhm.
different. So if it's grief, if it's anger, if it's bitterness, if it's insert negative emotion, that's different than, reminiscing on the happy memories that you had with said individual. And,
I see where you're going with that. And I definitely understand your point, but I I think with the whole negative connotation of those feelings, are they really negative, or is it just a process to get through the loss of a person that was so close to you? I mean, the only reason, if you think about it, that we feel pain when we lose someone is because of the love we shared. If we didn't love them and know that they loved us, we really wouldn't be that deterred of their death. So I think the more you love someone, or just loving someone, maybe it's not even like an amount, just loving someone is the reason you feel those negative feelings. And I just think it's a process, because
well, yeah, I think that's the point that I'm trying to make.
Oh,
Because
okay.
there's a difference between grieving and then not healing.
Okay.
You know what I
Gotcha.
mean? Like,
Gotcha.
you can grieve a loss, but if you don't heal from it,
Mhm.
you're stuck in that negative thought cycle of the loss of that person. You're not growing. Are you binding that person to earth, to you, because they're trying to help you heal and move on for yourself? And in the same way, I guess I'm kind of translating it to, you have 10,000 foot traffics going through these houses, reliving the same, how did you die? What happened? Who was it? Asking the same 45 questions over and over and over
Right.
again. Is that doing damage to the soul that already lost its life as well?
I think it,
Because they can't heal from it. They can't let go and move on because, I don't know. It's
yeah.
just,
Yeah, no, I now I understand what you're saying. I think it does more damage to the environment that we're investigating. So I think we're just, if negative energy is already there, we're just adding to it, opposed to just experiencing it.
yeah.
I mean, the fun thing about these conversations is that no idea what's wrong or right. We can just speculate
No.
and go on these tangents, which is, in my opinion, the best part of our conversations. So, yeah. Anything else to add, Bree?
Nope.
You sure?
Yep. I haven't done that in a while.
Yeah. Nope.
Nope.
Yep.
Nope, you haven't.
Nope.
What's that song? Nope. Yup.
Nope. Didn't think so. Why
Why is it every
This
time?
is why we don't let her talk.
I know, right? But listen, if you notice, every time she tries to do a beat to any song, it always comes out hillbilly.
It sounds like banjos.
It's always hillbilly.
I never
did hip hop.
Yeah. Like, yeah, that's AC/DC. Oh, I love Eminem.
What
Well, it's funny because the song I was just doing was Nelly Furtado. I think that's how I say your last name. And Timberland.
Oh, you mean the pinnacles of the country music scene?
No.
That's not even country. That's
I know.
Like,
I know. I mean, that's the joke, right? I mean,
yeah.
oh God. All right. All right.
You're cut off.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you're done. Jesus Christ.
We're gonna change our jingle.
Yeah, it's going to be her.
It's just gonna be me.
Yeah.
Can we please do that?
Oh, 100%. I'm cutting that, and it's just gonna be on repeat. That's how we're gonna open. We're gonna open every single. It's gonna be the dun, 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 right, and then as
it's
that
like circus meets hillbilly.
as our initial opening comes and slowly closes out, it's just gonna jump right through.
Perfect.
Yeah, I can't wait to do this.
Send me this audio. I'm gonna make a remix out of this. It's gonna be amazing.
So what's
I'm happy I can put some joy in your lives.
yeah? How does that song go again? The Nelly Furtado song?
Nope, didn't think so. I can't do it without the freaking twang.
I wanted to get a really good clear cut for you, Lynette.
That's perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, Lynette, would you like to add
Sure you
anything
did.
else to the? We were on the rails for so long. On point.
We were going so well.
Oh God.
You should just let me end it. No.
I can't.
Should have left it at now.
I don't feel satisfied until we go off the rails.
Speaking of like when I get in that country twang randomly, whatever. One of my coworkers says that like sometimes they can't tell what accent I have because I have like a mixture of different accents at once.
You know what I think it is? I think you're possessed and speaking in tongues.
Oh yeah.
I was like, I have a speech impediment. That's my excuse.
You have a speech impediment?
Yep.
What impedes your speech?
I don't know.
Her brain.
Her brain. Right. Thank you. That's where I was going.
Oh.
See?
My brain short circuits.
I'm surprised it has circuits.
Can we just cancel this train wreck? I can't.
All right. Anything
I had to
else?
put some good vibes after this sad story.
Yeah. No. Thank you.
Yeah.
Anything else to add before I officially close this down?
Nope.
I can't top that. No.
Okay. Well, thank you for listening, everyone. My name is Frank.
I'm Bree.
And this is Lynette.
And you've been listening to Fringe
Beyond
Limits.
Welcome to the Goddard School. Every great journey begins with the right start. And for your little one, that start is at Goddard. With over 35 years of experience in early childhood education, Goddard knows how the right start lays the foundation for a remarkable future. Our skilled teachers and innovative education program guide your child to realize their extraordinary potential. Learn more and schedule a tour at GoddardSchool.com.
If you're sleeping hot and sweaty, it's impossible to get a good night's rest. And if your solutions are blasting the AC high all summer and doing constant pillow flips, you've got to check out Coop Sleep Goods. Coop combines advanced cooling technology and personalized comfort to create pillows that help hot sleepers stay sweat-free all summer. The fabrics are breathable and cool to the touch, so you feel an instant chill the moment you lay down. Designed for 50% more breathability, the innovative fill helps you sleep cooler and more comfortably. They also have Tencel sheets that are naturally cooling, lightweight, and feel buttery soft on your skin. If it's not your coolest sleep ever, return it with no questions asked during their 100-night Sleep Better guarantee. And right now, you can get 20% off your first order. Visit coopsleepgoods.com/comedy to redeem your offer. That's COOP sleepgoods.com/comedy.
Winter is here, and if your furnace isn't keeping up, don't worry. Care Heating and Cooling has you covered. Our expert technicians are paid to fix your furnace, not sell you a new one. That means when Care shows up, we're there to solve the problem, not to push a sale. With 30 years of award-winning, trusted service, you can count on Care to keep your home warm and comfortable. Call Care Heating and Cooling at 1-800-COOLING or schedule an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com when you need a company you can trust.